Alright, so we just got some crazy things with the Zelda Ocarina of Time remake, something that Nintendo actually put out themselves and then retracted, which is very interesting. Some people out there are definitely a little bit alarmed, other people are just saying that doesn't really matter, so that's something that I definitely want to ask you guys your opinion on. So make sure to let me know about that shortly here in this video, and just other stuff with Nintendo games, other things coming to the Switch too. We also apparently have a hacker that has made claims that they have stolen some internal information, which is a little bit sketchy. But before we do hop into that, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications to help reach my goal of 9,000 subscribers. Let's see if we get today's sub goal of 10 subs. And one more quick thing right before we hop into it. I actually just got a brand new microphone, so let me know if you think this quality is good. I'm still kind of figuring out the settings and everything, but I think I got it at a good level right here, but let me know. So let's just talk about the Zelda Ocarina of Time thing. So Nintendo have actually removed and replaced the description for Ocarina of Time. So Nintendo previously had some new information about the upcoming Zelda Ocarina of Time remake that was accessible to read via a quick Google search, where that description read, "The N64 classic Reborn is a full remake for Nintendo Switch 2. Experience Ocarina of Time with stunning visuals, updated designs, and timeless gameplay." Now this has been taken down by Nintendo, and it is now replaced by "The Nintendo 64 Classic returns for a new generation in 2026, Reborn exclusively for the Switch 2. So the first description, the reason why people are kind of a little nervous is because it says timeless gameplay, updated designs. Those words specifically are making people think that maybe the game does not have anything new to offer as far as, I guess you could say, the gameplay or the storyline or the combat. Basically just small additional features to enhance the game. I feel like this second, I guess you could say, more generic description is a little bit more promising in a way, because it says Reborn exclusively. When you think of Reborn, obviously you kind of think of a little bit of additional features like new gameplay, of course new graphics, which is a given. It's obviously going to have completely brand new graphics. We've heard that the game is completely built from the ground up, like a complete remake. It's not just like a port with, I guess, upscaled, graphics. It's a completely rebuilt game, and we actually have other things to talk about in this video specifically that may actually show this game will have more to offer than just the original game, because obviously the original game is fantastic. Ocarina of Time is so loved by millions of people. There are so many people that think this is the best video game of all time, the best Zelda game of all time, and it has a high critic score, which is why many people, including myself, think that Nintendo are actually going to take this game very, very seriously and deliver a good game. I know we had a remake on the 3DS, that was pretty cool to play it on a handheld console back in the day. A new modern day remake, it's going to be huge. I've been reading a ton of different threads online, Twitter, Reddit, whatever. Fans are very divided, it seems like, between if they just want a pure, graphics update specifically just with the graphics and nothing else, and many other people want to have, I guess, different features, while the other half of people really want more things added, I guess, different mechanics, which I think it will have different mechanics just because it's a modern day remake. So, controllers are a little bit different, especially from the N64. Some people are thinking it's going to be like the N64 version, could be like the 3DS version, could be completely different. We're not exactly sure at the moment. And of course, when we do get this next huge Zelda Direct or Zelda Treehouse, I've been talking about this recently, whatever they do call that, and whenever they do actually give us that huge trailer, which I think is going to be a big trailer, not just like a 2-minute trailer, I really do think they're going to do a whole live stream, then I do believe we will get to see more, and then we can actually kind of pick apart, if they're going to be adding stuff, what they're going to be replacing in the game. I don't think they're going to really remove much, if anything at all. I think they will simply just add things to the game to make it a little bit different, but still the same overall experience. It basically is between the people that want the original game to stay original with modern day graphics, just like HD, or those that want the changes and some different features to make it stand out and be a little bit different while still being Ocarina of Time. Let me know, what side of the page are you guys on with this? Now let's talk about other patents that we do actually have from Nintendo from 2024 that actually do reveal some quality of life features for upcoming Zelda titles. And this patent apparently describes a system that bridges the gap between a 2D map and 3D gameplay. Under this new mechanic, if a player feels disoriented within the vast virtual space, they can switch to a second display map screen. Once there, they can designate a specific point of interest or direction using a cursor. The most innovative part of the process occurs when the players return to the first display or the main gameplay screen. Instead of the camera snapping instantly to a new angle the system triggers an automatic rotation that smoothly shifts the virtual camera over a predetermined period. This gradual transition is specifically designed to help the players maintain their sense of direction and spatial context without becoming lost. The patent outlines two primary ways this technology could be utilized. Automatic rotation. This allows the player to simply orient the camera towards a landmark or objective, leaving the actual movement to the player, or the automatic movement, where the player can command the character to automatically travel along calculated paths to the designated cursor point, avoiding the obstacles. This included documentation provides a visual breakdown of how this actually works, showing the movement of the virtual camera, the map screen interface, and the resulting player character perspective. Detailed diagrams illustrating these transitions can be seen in the screenshots. It represents exactly the kind of modern, player-friendly refinement that would be ideal for a new Zelda Ocarina of Time remake by allowing players to focus on the adventure and less wrestling with camera angles. And Nintendo appears to be prioritizing comfort and immersion for its future releases. And I'll have some on the screen while I talk. So basically, I think this is good news and makes a lot of sense because older video games, man, you know, the camera movements are very odd. If you guys have ever played an older video game, you know, N64, some games on the GameCube, even the DS, some of the camera movements just, it was very difficult and very weird. So with these patents here, it does seem like they are focusing on that, which is really cool. I think this was kind of, I guess you could say, predicted that they would have complete new camera movements for this game because it just makes sense if it's going to be a modern day complete remake. I would understand, you know, if it was just a port or I guess a lazy remake that they would just keep the weird camera angle and camera movements and stuff. But this will give us a totally different, I guess you could say, perspective of the game and of the map, everything around us, the environment, and I'm so for that. Everything is going to look so good. I really think that the graphics are going to look so good. I cannot wait to see the trailer because I really do think that the trailer will be huge and will show us a lot. And in other good news, the Zelda Ocarina of Time remake is the most watched trailer. Well, it was more so a teaser, but we'll say trailer. And Nintendo Direct was the most watched gaming event in the last 10 days, which is huge because we've had many huge gaming announcements and events recently. So Nintendo having just a literal live stream on YouTube and it's the most watched gaming event is massive. And this also just goes to show how popular Ocarina of Time is, and of course Zelda, but specifically I just want to say Ocarina of Time, and that's why I don't think this game is going to be a bad remake. I don't think it's going to be a bad game. I mean, even if it was just a port, it wouldn't be a bad game, but the reason why I'm saying that is because of the fact that you know how people are nowadays where they're just disappointed with everything. You know, if their favorite game gets a remake or a port, they're usually disappointed. Nintendo obviously is very in tune, I feel like, with their games, with their IPs and stuff, you know, Mario, Zelda, and I do think that they are really going to deliver us a fantastic Ocarina of Time remake. Even if there's not much added to the game, I'm gonna be okay with that because I still think they're gonna make it a very exciting and a very fun game. I mean, it's Ocarina of Time, right? I personally do think that there will be things added to it. I don't think there's gonna be much, and the things that could be potentially added to the game, I do not think are gonna take away from anything major. Like, I don't think it's gonna take away from the overall storyline. I don't think it's gonna take away from the gameplay. I think it's simply just gonna be some little added features, maybe added gameplay elements, just something, literally just anything that they could potentially add to this game just to make it a little bit different. That way it's not one-to-one. Even though if it is going to be one-to-one, I'm still going to be happy with it. I'm definitely still going to play it. We also have a hacker that claims to have stolen Nintendo HR data from Tiny Pulse Systems, which HR stands for Human Resources. The hacker apparently has 859 megabytes of data, which, I mean, can go a long way if it's just spreadsheets and stuff in like the smaller files. Like, that doesn't sound like a lot of data, but if you're just talking about like, you know, PDF files and stuff, that could go a long way. So this may actually hold personal information, which is never good. Obviously, it's always very scary. Why they'd want to have this information, I have no idea. It currently doesn't sound like they have anything about games. It seems like it's all personal information, which is definitely not cool. They did say they claim to have this information, which means there is a possibility it could be a false statement or something. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. Let me know how you guys are feeling about the Ocarina of Time remake. Recently, we've had a lot of Zelda talk, like lots of information, lots of news regarding Zelda Ocarina of Time, which is very fun. I was actually planning on making a completely different video today, but we've had all this information. I'm like, you know what? I should probably talk about this first because the other information we have is about the Mario 3D game coming out next year, and basically just how 2027 is still going to be a huge year for the Switch 2 and Nintendo as a whole. Let me know all of your thoughts. Let me know your theories. What do you want from the Zelda Ocarina of Time remake? Do you think Nintendo's going to let us down? Do you think they're going to deliver? Make sure you have a like, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one.